Hello everyone, I would love to welcome you back to the OPO and get into this next game, but unfortunately we have another slight delay here because some people say Cartman is still twisted advancing off in the server somewhere and we can't get out of that game thanks to Chrono Break.
Chrono Break has done something to our servers, we can't get out of it, but we'll fix it and we'll get into game number 3 as soon as we possibly can. In saying that, this is now match point for the Chiefs. However, they've both been here before. Legacy have some fantastic players on their lineup. We just saw Claire go absolutely berserk. And I'm really waiting for Lost and Cupcake to work their way into this series. They've both been pretty quiet, honestly, Fish. They seem to have not had the laning phase that we expected them to have. I want to echo the sentiments of the desk and just play a kill lane. Like, play something that actually does big damage. I mean, or get the Trundle back out. Trundle Pillar plus Maokai means you absolutely cannot escape these bottom lane ganks. I'm really looking towards the Kiwis on the Legacy lineup to have an impressive game number 3.
Yeah, bring out the Leona, get the Bard or something in the bottom lane to kill everyone because Legacy needed something.
Heck, play Brand. I mean, these games are going late. Just play a damage threat.
Potentially. Well, we'll have to see what Legacy decide to do because they need to pick up a reverse sweep to set their date next Saturday against the Direwolves. The Chiefs, though, now at match point. We're going to go into a very quick break. We'll be back with the third game very soon.
this path until the end.
Hey guys, welcome back, and unfortunately we still have bad news for you guys. There's still a big problem with the game. We can't get out of it, so we're going to have to just play on it. We're going to have to go back to that game and play it all over again, Squad. Does that sound good?
I think we're going to actually try and fix the damn issue, Fishery. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah, so we are going to try and investigate this issue and hopefully be able to get into a new game as soon as possible. With that, we're going to go into a much extended break, but don't go anywhere. We will be back with the rest of the Specified series right after this.
Which way?
Over here! On your mark!
I see it! I see it! We're almost there, man! Let's go! I'm sorry. I'm sorry! Come on!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that last video because that was a reenactment of Claire in the last match
Wow,
against the
my
Chiefs.
hair is going everywhere. Come on, you just keep going.
Unfortunately for Claire, it was not enough for Legacy to pick up a victory in that game, but we are going to be able to get into game number 3 very shortly.
Woo!
And
That
Legacy
was-
now have to try and reverse
That was
sweep.
touch and go for a second. I didn't know whether I was going to make a fish.
What?
What do you mean? Not
Because
all
of
of
your
us,
hair?
yeah, not all of us come on camera looking disheveled like you do. However, that was a very close second game. 51 minutes total game time. I think it was closer to about 80 minutes when you factor in all the pauses. And, you know, now a big downtime between the games. So it would be interesting to see exactly what the mentality of the teams are coming into this. I expect some aggressive early game League of Legends out of the Chiefs. And I think that Legacy is still in with a fighting shot because it's been such a long break in between due to all the technical issues that we're trying to fix that, you know, mentality should be good to go at the moment.
Yeah, and if Legacy had any more tricks up their sleeve, now is the time to showcase it because it's do or die for them. They have to reverse sweep, and that's already such a tough task. We saw SKT try to against Longzhu the other night, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. And I mean, obviously different patch, but pushing League of Legends showed in that game just how to get an early advantage and continue to snowball it throughout. And I think that in game 1, we saw a very similar form of League of Legends that, you know, they were able to get an objective-based comp that never really fell behind, had equally good scaling, and then they just continued to push the tempo through objectives. And that's something that maybe Legacy can look towards. Maybe get a pushing mid lane, get the Cassiopeia out of there, get a pushing bottom lane, and allow Carbon to invade, because he's obviously not hesitant to do so, Fish. Right now, it's just not working because he's, unfortunately, not got any pushing lanes behind him.
He, unfortunately, Carbon has had no way to actually get onto, have any impact on the Rift, because as you mentioned, no pushing waves for himself, and he just hasn't been impactful. He jumps in and dies.
And the other person you have to ask to step up if you are a Legacy fan is Lost. Last split's MVP, definitely one of the best AD carries in the league. Right now, it's just not having the same amount of impact as a perfect player. Raze is absolutely everywhere on the map. Unique itemization in that one. Sold his boots, third item on Randuman and Doman. Maybe he's a genius, maybe he's an idiot, but all I know is he can play League of Legends incredibly well. And Lost, unfortunately, Lost and Cuppers down there in the bottom lane. just
Yeah.
not having the early games that we expect out of them.
That spark, I mean, we always used to say that Lost and Cupcake, they're not the best individually in their role, but together they were the best bottom lane. That
Yep.
spark that made them the best bottom lane just has not been there for the past few sets they've played, and especially crucial in this best of 5 series, not really showing up.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, they did get Claire a couple of kills down there in the bottom lane. As we see players are in their seats returning to the room. They did get Claire down there. They did get Carbon involved. They took a nice early turret. But that's, I mean, that was already after 4 or 5 kills had gone down on Summoner's Rift. I mean, it was as the game was really progressing in.
Yeah.
They got a good level 1 trade, but weren't able to capitalize on that. I just want them to play aggressive League of Legends. I want to see them playing at their best, as I'm sure everyone at home does. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us during the pauses and the breaks and everything else that's going on. But it looks like finally we're going to get on Summoner's Rift for game number 3.
Yeah, hopefully be able to get into Champions League shortly. I want to see Jarvan Pantheon out of Lost and Cupcake. You know, just throw everything
Come
they
on.
can at Raze.
Xin Zhao Soraka.
What? Zinzao Soraka?
Yeah.
That's your cheese lane bot.
Because you keep them healthy, and then as soon as they dash in for their knock-up, you just put the silence field underneath where they're going to dash to. Double snare, Xin Zhao, OP.
Yeah. I'll have
How
to
do
try
you
that
actually
one.
stay alive with Jarvan Pantheon? Don't you just get auto-attack to death?
No, you every time you have your EQ or your W, you go. There's no stopping, and it just does way too much damage early on.
All right.
The only part of the lane you have to survive is level 1, and with double
Spe-
Targons, quite easy.
Ah, double Targons. Is that what the trick
You can
is?
go double Targons or you can go full damage, depending on the lane. Normally, double Targons helps.
I'm not this cheesy. That's why it ain't easy being
The
cheesy, ladies and gentlemen. I
last
just don't understand.
The last person I played it with was Pastry Time. We had a lot of fun playing that combo.
The
in
last
bottom
cheese lane I remember being played was TSM. They ran Annie Xin Zhao.
Hmm.
Didn't work, Fish.
No, it did
It
not.
went very poorly, in fact.
They tried.
That was with the introduction of Targons, I'm pretty sure. That was about 3.5 years ago now, if I'm not forgotten.
Do you think we'll ever see some changes to bottom lane? Because right now it's 80 carry support, and it always has been. But, you know, historically, it used to be double tank, and then we had a brief period where a couple teams in NALCS were playing things like Jarvan, Leona.
Yep.
I wonder if it'll ever change, because a lot of different games do have swaps, heavy swaps in the meta, but League of Legends has only really gone through a couple.
We had Ziggs go down there with the support, so
yeah.
that's Mage. We
That was a
also
big
saw
one.
a game of Karthus, I'm pretty sure. I think that right now, duo lane is definitely the best way to play it. I would be interested to see whether we ever got a variant of like a pushing lane, whether you would ever pick Janna, Caitlyn, and something like an Elise, and just start top, clear to bottom, get level 4, and then just run into the lane and never leave until you take the turret down. I mean, something like that would be interesting to me. Obviously, that can get camped or things like that and can really shut it down, but if we ever get a good ranged jungler, like Kindred could have done it, for example.
Yeah.
You could have gone like a support plus, you know, maybe a melee, and then ran Kindred into the lane and just left her there and done a lot of damage. Things like that have been theorized, but, you know, at the moment, not going to happen.
Mordekaiser was really cool for a while.
Yeah.
People were thinking that...
It was really cool because he could just 2-hit you. That's not really cool, Fish.
No.
That sucks.
What I liked about him was the experience share, that he got 100% experience for a share in a duo.
Yeah.
lane.
They were 4.5. You were 6. He flashed on you and hit you, and you died.
But I was hoping that with a big change like that, there was a potential to have a tri lane. Just like you mentioned, you know, someone clears out the jungle, comes down bottom lane. Because
Yeah.
we've had 2-1-2 before. Back when Evelyn was a roaming support, people used to send a support top lane so they could bully out the top laner.
Yeah.
And Evelyn couldn't gank anywhere because it'd be impossible to gank the 2-on-2 or the 2-on-1 top. But yeah, it's been a very stagnant meta for a while since turret swaps have been nerfed heavily with the armor for turrets. So I'm really curious to see what the next big shakeup is going to be in League of Legends.
Yeah, I'm really interested by it. Obviously, Gigabyte Marines run their lane swaps still with the Tristana pick as well as Sion and Gragas. That was really cool. I like the wave clear that they had there.
Tinikun, best coach.
Yeah, we
Oof.
had a couple of, not suicide, but proxy Singes running around for a long time, you know, just farming up waves, being a general nuisance, going into the base when they shouldn't be in the base, Fish. Why is a level 3 Singed in my base, eating 2 creep waves at the same time? But right now it seems to be about objectives, and they're split in two. You either go for a strong secure team, like Cho'Gath, Cassiopeia, Callista, that takes dragons and barons very well, or you go for a strong pushing team, something like the Tristana or the Caitlyn, coupled up with a range support that has disengaged. And then you just group as 5, and you either look for the turrets or you look for the dragons. And once that gold lead is solidified, teams are that good around the world now that they just don't give it up. You get a 5,000 gold lead, it's no longer the CLG gaze where it's like, all right, cool, they'll never turret dive us. We have the Anivia, we can just stall out forever.
Yeah.
Teams will get underneath your turrets. They will tango now. And 6,000, 6,000 gold is generally enough to close out a game.
I mean, SKT along to showed us that in both Game 3 and 4 of the LCK finals. SKT bullied out the jungler, held onto a gold lead, were relentless. And then LZ did the exact same thing in Game 4 and made it so tough to come back.
And I love the way that Papa Smithy described what Blank was able to do in game number 3, where he just sat in the jungle of
He was the
cars
ward?
and just, it was a battle ward. And the reason behind that was he had 2 pushing lanes. So the fact that they were able to win those 2 lanes was more important than getting Blank experience. Also, the fact that Blank's whole jungle was still up and available and he just flew around it afterwards as Gragas, who jungles incredibly quickly, was just abusive in the end to what was actually going down. Obviously, he was level 2 and everyone else was like level 5, but he caught back up, jungle catch-up mechanic OP, and was completely fine for the rest of the game.
I know Saigon Jokers used to do a variant of that where they'd run Leona with Smite and run into the jungle as a battle ward and try and contest the jungler, keep him down for the longest time.
I like that tactic. I did it with Alistar for a while.
Yep, I know. I was on the receiving end. I was on the receiving end of this, and you were on my team.
Yeah.
Somehow, I still was on the receiving end of this.
Yeah, no one really wins when your Alistar has Smite, unfortunately, guys.
You come into my lane, you smite the first minion, Targon's the next 2. As soon as you hit 2, you're gone. I don't know where you disappeared to. In fact, even majority of level 1, you're running around trying to disrupt the enemy jungler. Unfortunately, guys, we still have a bit of delay, but the guys are trying to load into the match. Should be able to get to Champions League in the next minute or so, I've been told. It's been a very long day of League of Legends, and it's only Game 2, Spawn. Like, we're going to Game 3 now, but 2 games have passed. It feels like an eternity we've been here.
It certainly does. We've been here a long time, Fish. 3 hours for 2 games. We're powering through. I need another Red Bull. If someone's listening upstairs, shout out to Red Bull.
There's one there, but it's warm.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's
I don't want a warm one. I want a cold one. But yeah, so hopefully getting into the game nice and soon. And I mean, this is on a knife's edge. If the Chiefs have a bad early game now, it could swing this whole series. However, you feel if they can stay calm and composed, they should be able to take it through. At the same time, Legacy, the team that has been known for their mental fortitude, known for their team fighting, obviously purchased by the Adelaide Crows this year, want to be that team that continues to rise up and challenge the top of the OPL. Getting to back-to-back grand finals would mean so much, especially for that man on your screen, Carbon.
Big boss.
And I've been told we're about to get into Champions League. I don't want to get your hopes up, guys. But you are. Hopefully we're getting there in just a second.
There we go. We've finally done it. Game 3 of the Chiefs taking on Legacy. We are into this match. And finally, we'll get to see what both Soul Strikes and Jish have been preparing this entire run. The entire pause, the entire Game 2, the delays we had coming into Game 3. Now they get to show what do they have planned for this draft.
And Legacy's put the Chiefs back on blue side. So 3 games the Chiefs have been able to play blue side. The switch up did not come. Legacy had side selection, of course, being higher seed. 1, 3, and 5, they get that. That's interesting to me, Fish, because the Chiefs have shown they don't really care about counter picks. They're willing to take anything. And if this isn't a Cassio ban, I am fairly certain that we kind of know what the first 3 picks of the Chiefs are going to be.
Ooh, Callista. That's the final ban from Legacy, which is strange because the Chiefs have already shown, you know, they don't necessarily pick Callista first. But that was with Rakan left up, who's also banned out, and that leaves Gragas open. Instantly locked in.
Exactly right. Able to get the S-tier jungler for Spooks, potentially also a top lane pick as well. And they take away the Cassiopeia.
Wow, Claire says, I'll take it to Swiffer in the mid lane. Let me flex my muscles now. They get Xayah as well. That's a big draft phase coming out from Legacy already.
Certainly is. Xayah has a lot of kill threat early game. See how it goes. Claire, very good on the Cassiopeia. See what Swiffer wants to take into it.
Ooh, Syndra gets locked in. So still,
No Twist of Fate.
No Twist of Fate. Not picking up any of those, you know, roaming global mid laners. Talia not even going to be picked up here.
I mean, Talia's bad into Cassiopeia, to be fair. Especially now that she's able to, you know, just go Abyssal Mask and survive any of the harass. There's no real way you can win that laning phase anymore.
Yep.
See whether he goes towards it against Syndra as well, because that Syndra was a counter pick to Cassiopeia, then Faker built Abyssal Mask and then killed him. And then everyone was like, okay, maybe it's not.
So Varus is the pick up here for the Chiefs. They decide not to pick Morgana first. So Legacy could potentially ban a couple of Egypt's champions coming into this.
Certainly can. When you have a look at it, though, there is still Lulu, Janna, Morgana. I mean, you want to go really deep, Soraka, Karma, Nami. There's so many range supports still available for Egypt to play.
Final pick from Legacy is another one of the Chiefs' specialties. Sejuani gets locked in for Carbon.
But we've already seen Spooks play Gragas into Sejuani versus Sin. And he really did a good job of trading with the body slam and then waiting before the passive was down, before he went in with the auto attack as well as the Q, and was doing heaps of damage. I thought that was a really cute interaction that Spooks obviously had practiced a lot.
I mean, we see right now that Gragas is the S tier jungler. Jarvan's creeping up to be one of them in terms of aggressiveness.
He's been banned all 3 games, however.
Yeah, and we've seen teams internationally like SKT use both Gragas and Jarvan to bully opposition junglers no matter who they play, especially when they pick up someone like Zac who needs some time to ramp up.
Yep.
And let's see how Spooks does into Carbon Sejuani. We've already seen a year ago this exact same matchup, but at the grand finals, Spooks was able to run circles around Carbon in the jungle, and he's looking to do the exact same thing in this series.
Certainly is. See what the last ban is for Legacy.
Wow, supports from both sides. Braum from the Chiefs, Thresh from Legacy.
Yep.
With Rumble the final ban here.
That's really interesting. So obviously not wanting to get shoved in by Swiper. See whether they play something a little bit more damage-oriented like the Kled to try and take it to him in the top lane. Or maybe even something like the Maokai would be interesting.
Cho'Gath is the final ban from the Chiefs.
They ban the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, they don't want Legacy to have that final pick.
So now they can pick Nah here, Legacy. And that would mean that Swiper would have to show a different counter pick.
Janna first? Which means they hold on Tally's pick for last. Chiefs now have to show their hand.
They can play Maokai if they want. Would be a decent top laner. Potential to run a hyper carry, a big carry like Lucian into it. They can also take Nah, but Lucian is still available, Fish.
They can do something like pick up Maokai, as you mentioned, and flex it between him and Gragas.
Blitzcrank hover.
Do it. Instead, it's going to be Nah picked up first.
I mean, he can still pick Blitzcrank right now.
Do it. Yes! Ejim picks up Blitzcrank into the Janna of Cupcake.
Swiper's shaking his head. Maybe doesn't want to play now. Don't know. Big Swips just confuses me with his body language now. And this will be Tally's pick. So let's see what Tally wants. Does he go towards Lucian? He does!
Game 3, and both teams have turned it up here today. Ejim wants to take it to the bottom lane. Tally wants to take down the Armored Titan himself. And this is looking to be a great matchup.
Certainly is. I really like Legacy's comp because they've got 2 mid-range carries, but it is so hard to get on top of them with Claire playing the Cassiopeia as well as a... Ooh.
No way.
Nah, that's not going to be. As well as Janna being there. So you've got a solo tank that can tank up the front line, and then you've got these 3 hyper carries that will scale so well into the late game, and a Janna protecting them. Going to be able to pick up Ardent Sensor. The heal will be massive. And if Ejim doesn't set them so far behind, the late game scaling of Legacy is finally there this game, Fish.
It certainly is, and they have such a big bully lane topside of the map. Tally used to be an AD carry, and at Origin, he did play as an AD carry for Queensland, and did a great job at doing that as well. Almost single-handedly carried them into the playoffs, which no one expected. Shocked New Zealand almost.
Yeah, it certainly did. Good performances. Known for his Vayne and his Draven and things like that. Also a good Lucian player on his day.
I've played against him in the bottom lane before, and it's not an enjoyable experience. He also is... He's the nice BM guy. He will XD me a couple of times when I miss CS. Mr. Jimmy. Let's see how he does on the Lucian top. Against Swiper on the Nah.
Yeah, exactly right. And we saw Chippies took this matchup. See whether Tally can do the same thing, because at the end of that game, Game 1 of Direwolves versus Chiefs, it was the Lucian that was knocking on the Nexus, and Swiper was dead. However, Fish, we're finally there.
Game number 3, match point for the Chiefs. And if Legacy want a shot at heading into the grand finals against the Direwolves, they have to start their reverse sweep here.
Big pressure game for Legacy. Blitzcrank has been locked in. The most annoying Chroma skin in the game.
What is that? What Blitzcrank skin is that?
Isn't that the Battle Boss one?
Ah, one
with
of
the
the new
Chroma?
ones.
No, it's Battle Boss isn't new. The Chroma pack is. Rusty, Blitzcrank, or Bust. Yeah, it is 100% Battle Boss Chroman. Broadcasters like, we think it's Chroman. It is. Don't worry, I got it. That's all right. Wow. Going for an invade.
Look at him roll. Oh, my goodness.
Cuppers drops a ward.
So they spot out this early from Chiefs. Is there any response, though, coming out from Legacy? They put a ward down at blue buff. Spot out Swiper as well.
Busting the passive could be big. They're going to get in behind Big Swips, potentially.
Oh,
Looks
this is good for Tally.
Out.
If Swiper takes the aggressive route back to the lane, he's going to have to burn
might
Flash
die.
at least. He's around the corner, not spotted out yet. Now will be spotted out. Takes quite a bit of damage, getting locked down by Carbon almost. Below half health.
Yeah,
Does he go to
is.
lane?
Has got Door and Shield. So, will be... Nah, he's not okay. It's half health. I mean, half health is half health. Don't care what you start with. Door and Shield regen. It's good. It's not that good. So, they will take away the blue buff.
What does he do now? Does he just try and push as fast as he can?
Nah, I think you just hope that Tally trades you in the wave and it pushes back into you.
Oh, big hook onto Lost very early. Gets the Janna shield, but Raze throws so many arrows into him.
Yeah, exactly right. So we'll see here that they want to play up and aggressive as possible because they know that Cupcake would be running GP10. One hook onto Cupcake past level 2 would be death. But Raze can't miss too many creeps. He's missed 3 back-to-back.
Got those two, at least.
Missed that one.
Raze. So misses an entire wave.
However, they are forcing Legacy off this wave, and they're getting good damage down early.
Certainly are. That turret, Chiefs setting this up to be a 7-minute turret if they can keep Lost and Cupcake pinned down here.
Certainly are.
Targon's picked up by Lost, so he wants to try and accelerate the Ardent sensor pickup.
And we've seen that the general rule, if you go this greedy, is you lose your turret in 6 minutes. There's a general rule. Oh, that's a cannon creep. Wanted to thread the gap there. Did not find it. Credit to Legacy's bottom lane. They're playing this well. They're staying back. They're going to be up in creeps after this wave crashes. And if you get a creep advantage with a Targon's lane, as well as like Ardent Sensor, and he's just missing creeps fish.
Come on, Raze. He does run a very high attack speed rune page, so
maybe this is one of the games that you shouldn't have.
Starting to pick back up though. Let's see if it's going to cost him much. Spook's looking for an early invade. Force a blast cone his way out.
Was just checking the red buff. You can see Tally top lane. Let's talk about that for a second, Fishery. 11 CS to 24. He is absolutely styling on Big Swips.
Nah. Tries to slam the ground there. Tally's able to avoid it. Potion already burnt by Swiper. He's a level behind the Lucian. So he's been denied from some CS.
See whether Gragas can get into the middle lane.
But his job is to survive. Swiper does not need to get ahead in any way. He just needs to live. Meanwhile,
all right, here we go.
They slow down Claire as well. Thunderlords comes through. Swiffer still chasing.
Might
Might be able to get a solo kill. Claire has to be careful. Still has heal.
Oh!
Spooks will trade flash for flash.
Yeah, exactly right. You can see straight away that they respect the flash coming out of Gragas and they get out of there. Swiper top lane took a really bad trade, so Tally is monstering him at the moment. Doubled ECS already, and across the board, we have winning lanes for the Legacy lineup nearly.
Not too detrimental for Swiper. He can come back and pick up all of this wave. But still, Tally doing a fantastic job so early into this match.
Certainly is. Swiper has played this matchup, played it against Chippies. I wonder who the better Lucian player is, however. Because I would have to think, you know, Chippies is a great laner. He practices a lot of these unorthodox picks. But if I was going to put money on someone, it would be the guy that used to be the 80 carry main.
Ooh, just constantly harassing Swiper every time he steps up to get any form of experience.
Looks like he's running like meditation or some form of mana regen as well.
Yep.
Because you can see every single time he throws out an ability, he's nearly back to full mana.
Hooks on. Cupcake knocked up as well. Good auto attacks coming out from Raze, and he gets the full trade thanks to his W.
Certainly does. However, Chiefs are only just starting to accelerate in this lane. They send Cupcake back. If a hook lands on Lost now, he will nearly die. Sejuani doesn't get the camp.
Thanks, mate. Enjoyed the leash. Now, please go back north of the wall. Swiper's going to continue to try and survive against Lucian top side of the map. Every time he goes Mega, he gets a little bit of health back. Agent charging forward. He actually just wants Janna, but Bloss is blocking him.
Yeah.
He's going to get a good trade down in return now.
Fantastic trade.
Can't lock him down with the root though. Out of mana, going to make this lane difficult.
Yeah, it makes it even harder. I mean, the Chiefs, you can see, are already starting to skip ahead in terms of CS.
Not much damage on
Maybe
the turret.
looking mid lane, however, Spooks is here.
No flash for Claire. Swiffer going to collapse. Throws out the ultimate early. Claire does have heal, but might as well not use it. Swiffer gets an easy first blood.
Exactly right. Notice that he used the ult first, Fish, to try and get as many orbs out as possible. That would mean that all of a sudden, it's much harder for Claire to dodge out on a single orb stun. Good collapse here from Spooks.
Woo!
Just trying to relieve pressure for Swiper, and the dive here.
Oh, Ignite very early. Cleanse used by Lost. They're going to mitigate a lot of damage, but not the healing reduction. Ejim will be able to escape and forces both summoner spells out of Lost.
Yeah, really nicely done from Ejim, because I feel like Lost summoner spells are way more crucial in this lane. We'll still have the heal available, of course. That will do more because of the wind speakers on Janna. And Tally culling. So Swiper's doing better this time around. I feel like he was getting absolutely destroyed when he was playing against Chippies. And this one's pretty one-sided, but I feel like... actually, I don't know. I was going to say, I feel like Chippies was a little bit further ahead.
Claire's going to rotate around here, look to try and pick up blue buff. Spooks now collapse. No reason for him to be there.
Ooh.
But now Tally, nod into the wall. Swiper gets good damage on the Lucian, but without Syndra there, they can't do anything. Blitzcrank, however, is rotating towards top side.
They're just trying to defend this blue buff, because I think that what would have happened is Carbon would have given that one to Tally, gone back for his own and given that to Claire.
Ouch.
And I have to think that with blue buff, that lane would get much worse. Instead, they use some ultimates. They rotate Ejim there, but they're still able to come up with a very advantageous trade. Swiffer doesn't clear out the pink ward. It's a little bit of an annoying thing when mid laners don't walk through that brush.
So
that's all right.
What is Swiper's job here? Does he just have to survive?
Yeah, become a tank. That's his job. He's not going to be a lane bully this game. He doesn't need to be. They need duo frontline to be able to take this one down. And he needs to be one of those frontliners. We saw how big his Nars were yesterday. If he gets a couple of those off, sure, you can go towards your offensive items. But for right now, I'd be concentrating on getting my boots too and trying to scale up. Because you can see, Tally's just going to bully him around Summoner's Rift.
Bottom lane though, that's an ultimate from Raze. There is no flash available for Lost. Pops his own ultimate. Is it going to be enough? For now, he does get back.
I mean, that's what you want. As soon as you burn the ultimate out of it, he doesn't have flash already. You can see Cupcake steps forward. He's going to get traded on very aggressively. The turret isn't down yet. They heal just for the heal.
Not great.
And the Chiefs lineup are just going to leave that lane now. Get themselves a plant.
I like that from Legacy. Not afraid to use the summoner spell just to boost back up and stay in lane. Oh no, Claire. No. Hello. Hook him, he's AFK.
Don't know what Ejim was going for there.
Just say hello.
Got vision of Carbon, which was probably a good thing. So you can see Chiefs in 2 lanes. Big advantages. Bottom lane, 13 CS. Mid lane actually is much more Fish.
That was a...
That's a long tether on the turret.
Claire's got to be careful. Because Swiffer almost killed him with that one combo. Put him down to half health. Yeah. You have to think one more orb and Claire was dead. Heal available for Cassiopeia. Gets back up to full. You see the gold difference right now. Not that bad for Swiper. 400 gold down, but it's a 300 gold lead in the bottom lane and a massive one mid lane. 800 in Swiffer's favor.
However, Lost stepping forward is really risky here because look at where Spooks is. He's on that side. Oh,
that's an ultimate coming out from Claire. Does nothing. Swiffer just... Cool guys don't look at explosions,
What the heck?
It's called the delete button for a reason. Good night, Snakes.
He hits the outplay button, I guess. Claire didn't even have an opportunity to heal. And that's going to be bottom lane turret falling 10 minutes into the game. And mid lane turret losing a lot of HP.
As much as Swiffer enjoys playing Cassiopeia, he did not like Snakes on the plane, so he decides to get rid of that as soon as possible. Bottom lane turret's
Where's the plane, Fish? Where is the plane?
I don't know. Mid lane, probably. It rhymes with plane. It's fine. Meanwhile, Dragon's going to be
Every lane rhymes with played.
Swiffer and Spook's going to start on this Ocean Dragon. Carbon was looking to see if he can wrap around behind Swiper. They're still on the top side of the map. But Big Swips holding his own. 20 CS down. That's a really good effort from the top lane of the Chiefs.
That's respectable from the top laner of the Chiefs. Claire now has double mana item. Catalyst will help a little bit against the burst. However, not going towards a Negatron. A little bit surprising for me. Swiffer went the pen boot, so he does a lot of damage, Fish. See that the mid laner of the Chiefs has certainly come here to play. These two games versus Ryoma versus Claire have been the best two games that Swiffer has probably played this split, in all honesty.
Well, if the Chiefs win the Specified Series, he has to go up against Fantix, which is no easy task.
Who, by the way, if does not win MVP, the system is rigged. I know other people get votes in MVP. I think I've solo carried him over the line.
Hingers. Oh, ooh! Hooks on, Tally gets knocked up, and silence here. Raze wants to collapse, but Carlin's there. Ejim very low, forced to get the heal, throws out the ultimate. They do lock it out. Body bot from Spook, secures the kill, throws out his old ultimate to stop Claire, and they turn on the Carbon as well. Look at Raze, confident man, flushes away from the tornado.
Oh,
he's going to die for that one though, and Spooks will too.
Yeah, and in the end, if they lose Raze as well, that is not a fair trade for the Chiefs.
Ooh, Cupcake, where did you go?
Raze got him.
My goodness,
That's
Ejim's going to
huge.
fall for this though.
Yep.
Throws down to Miasma, nothing he can do. Poor beep boop.
So in the end, Chiefs trade 2 for 3, getting good damage on the mid lane turret. Lost is going to be able to take this turret with Claire. But what I want to point out there is Ejim probably turned that from a 1-3 to a 2-3 by hooking Lost into the turret and giving a kill over to Raze.
Yep.
So now he's still ahead because he has that solo turret gold.
Goodbye. Delete button's incoming. Ooh, forces the flash. Almost gets away. No, he does not. From downtown. Swiffer finds his mark.
Swiffer is a man possessed. He's 50 CS up. He took mid lane turret. He just flashes a wall, says, Tally, come here. Give me another kill.
Oh, man, that hurts. Carbon's now trying to repel Swiper and Swiffer from this bottom lane turret. Chiefs have 1,000 gold lead, and when Swiffer holds majority of it, it's not a pretty sight. This turret's taking a beating. The minions almost able to take it down, but that shield from Cupcake will save it.
This is the first game where Carbon is farming well. He's up in experience. He's going to look to have a big impact on a big team fighter. And when you're playing a solo tank comp, Fish, it is so much more important for your tank to be ahead. And you can see right now, Spook sacrificed a lot of his early game pressure for his team, which is Spook's kind of play style, but Carbon is in a position to be able to team fight incredibly well.
I also have to point out, I think Ejim's champion pool is absolutely busted. His Rakan should be permanently banned. He's pulling out mage supports over and over again when he needs to, and the Blitzcrank now is putting in the work. Yeah. Took down bottom lane turrets so fast, rotating across the map.
But it's now where do they go from here? Because they got 2 turrets, right? But they're only 500 gold up. They're 30 CS up in the mid lane. But they're still only 500 gold up, Fish. Like, what can they actually do to bust this game open? Because right now it's not at breaking point, and Ardent Sense has already been picked up for the Xayah, so their team fight will be incredibly potent.
Ooh, Claire and Carbon making their way down into the bottom lane. Big swips. He can sense something is fishy.
Yeah, needs to back right away. However, they're just going to sit there, and that's going to allow Tally to take down that turret. They found him.
Run!
Didn't get his boomerang.
Flashes away from the ultimate. So patient for big swips.
Certainly is. Chiefs, however, do have the Rift Herald, so they can go for the 2-for-1 special if they so choose, Fish.
You have to remember, bottom lane has been set up to knock down later. That's an inner turret in the Chiefs' back pocket. Turret will equalize briefly here for Legacy, but Swiffer is knocking on mid lane inner, whereas Chiefs, Ejim, and Raze will take down top lane outer with Rift Herald still on this support.
Yeah, exactly right. And having it on the support means that Spooks is still able to farm up. He's taking away top side jungle right now of Legacy. See whether he gets caught out here. You can see Cassiopeia as well as the duo lane is rotating around, but I think it's just to save the top lane turret.
Raze will get a couple of auto attacks onto it, take it down a little bit, and push the wave in.
Oh, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, Swiffer.
Get him, Swiffer. Second champion I hate, by the way.
Syndra.
Syndra.
Another champion I've never played in my life.
Really?
Never.
See, when she could pick up all 3 orbs, I was like, this is a champion for me.
That's when she was busted.
Yeah,
and
then even more broken than now.
So we took it away from her. Turns out she was still busted, just people didn't realize it to begin with.
Yeah. Correct, Fish.
Oh.
Mate, you're so good at this. You should be the color caster. Let's swap.
No. Please no. I've tried. I tried that. Didn't turn out well for me.
Try everything. However, Chiefs are currently 1,000 gold up, Fishery.
Yep.
Legacy, however, have the comp. I like Legacy's comp a lot this game. Bork picked up in the top lane. Not a Pugmore, but still a cool item. You can see Ardent Sensor, as well as Sightstone completed right now. So Legacy are technically online. They're only 1,000 gold down.
Mountain Dragon coming up in 25 seconds. Legacy setting up this potentially contest for this. Swiper does have teleport available.
I think this is a great contest if Legacy can get it. Because while Swiffer is incredibly strong, much stronger than the Cassiopeia, you can see that the Chiefs don't really have a huge tank line and they go on spooks.
Body slams away, throws up the ultimate. That connects onto Ejim, not the target you want to lock down, and Carbon gets separated from the rest of his team, taking good damage. Hooks on! Claire gets silenced as well. Swiffer will turn his cleanse on and get away from the ultimate. Swiper now, Big Gnar on the wall, gets a double kill instantly. Tally though, popping off in the back lines. He can't get access to anyone else as Lost. One auto attack away from dying. Swiffer snipes him up. Carbon's forced to run towards the blast cone, and Rift Herald will get one final charge onto the inhibitor turret.
What a big team fight for the Chiefs. Rift Herald will fall down, so they're not going to be able to break the base. However, they trade 1 for 3 and grab a turret as well. Going to be able to exit and get the Mountain Dragon. Tally was popping off in that team fight, Fish. I would love to see the damage he did on the backline one more time. However, Swiper's Gnar is just so impactful.
Ejim as well, getting the crucial hook on Claire. My goodness, the Chiefs are just finding as a cohesive unit at the moment.
Yeah, they just look unstoppable. They look like they've got such clear communication. Let's take another look at this. So Spooks gets collapsed on. They throw the ulti at Ejim to try and interrupt the Herald. They also get a full culling out from Tally, which did a lot of damage. Hawk, absolutely clutch. I mean, that was what secured this team fight. But look at what Tally does. Gets a little bit of the Ardent Sensor, flashes that ult, one-on-one, kills Spooks, turns around. He's like, Ejim, you're next. Able to put in enough work on the backline that the Chiefs were, you know, low enough that they couldn't chase through indefinitely. Obviously, Swiffer on point with these orbs this game.
Swiffer's been on fire this entire series, this entire gauntlet.
This seems to be the adaptation to Abyssal Mask, by the way, Fish.
Okay.
You just go second item Void Staff. So penetration plus Void Staff penetration. Swiffer might be dead here.
Ooh, dodges the ultimate, knocks a couple back, grounded though and stun locked by Carbon. He's not going anywhere. Shutdown comes out for Claire.
Great play there, but Claire's still in turret range and he might die.
How many turret shots do you want to take, Claire? Petrifying Gaze locks him down. Cupcake goes on. Oh, Ejim finds his mark. 360 no-scope. Swiper will jump in. Can't go into Mega Gnar though. Raze whiffs the ultimate. And Chiefs can't follow up for the rest of that fight.
So mid laners fall down. Lots was used that time around. The teams are now starting to throw the kitchen sink in there. Legacy know it's desperation time. They're falling behind. If the... Ooh, Cupcake? No,
Careful.
He's absolutely fine. Has vision on where Spooks was. Legacy is starting to really look for those little 1% plays that could put them over the top. But the Chiefs are just standing up. That was a good force from Legacy. Claire just took too many turret shots. If that had been Carbon tanking the turret, probably a one-team fight.
But now Legacy, they're approaching 3,000 gold behind the Chiefs. Not a good spot for them. Baron's going to come up in 30 seconds as well. Legacy do have a good team come to contest it. But the Chiefs more than happy to team fight at the moment. They've got big spikes on Swiffer. He has his Void Staff. Looking for a Luden's Echo next.
Yep. Also, the pink wards are starting to come out. You can see also triple sweeper at this stage of the game. Chiefs are very confident in their map movements right now. Yes, come clear the ward that's in the middle of nowhere for no reason.
Nothing bad will happen, I promise. Ha! Do it again, Swiffer. Thank you. Dance.
Cupcake is actually going to go for it, though. Nah, he knows better. Good job, Cupcake. I would have been dead to that multiple times over.
The ward bait. Legacy, though. Fine Spooks.
Yeah.
Carbon smacks him, says, get out of my jungle.
Swiffer goes back into his brush. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
They're hitting at Swiffer. Nah, it's nothing.
Didn't have enough orbs. However, Swiper is in the bottom lane. Teleport's coming up back up soon. Tally's is nowhere close to being off cooldown. And that's going to be a bottom lane in the turret falling.
Certainly is going to be. Eden went fishing, did not catch anything. Cast thrown at the wave to try and dissuade it.
Well done by Spirix.
Still going to fall.
Spirix also has mobility boots here. He runs pretty quick on the Gragas. Swiper's going to take down bottom lane inner turret. Meanwhile, Raze is split pushing top side.
They're going for the engage.
I mean, you have to force it, don't you? They lock down Spooks. He tries to body bop over the wall, interrupted by Carbon. Instead, they turn towards Ejim. He flashes early as well. Legacy just running around like headless shooks at the moment, and they're forced back to their base.
They certainly are. I mean, they get 2 flashes. That's good for only the ultimate out of Carbon really expended. Or actually lost ultimate as well, but they'll both be back off cooldown. Woo. Swiper, however, gets a big chunk of this turret fishery.
Tally comes back, says Swiper, no swiping. We'll be able to clear out this wave as well, where the Chiefs set up for a big Baron play. Hooks on, CMA, you're gone.
And that could just be Baron. I mean, they get the jungle. What more could you want as the Chiefs? They're very squishy, however. Cassiopeia could do work here.
Oh, she's wrapped around on the backside, but Tally nowhere close. For a long time, this could be a 3-on-5. Claire trying to keep them inside the pit. The Chiefs have moved to the back. Very low now. Will they be able to smite it? Hook's not on. It misses. Baron's low, but it will be secured by Spooks. Chiefs trying to turn around. Claire threatening to throw out the ultimate. Where did the Chiefs go?
They're like fishing a barrel.
Ejim's going to run out. Try to knock one up. Lost, forced to flash away. But this team fight, Tally gets hooked. He'll get taken down low. They want Swiper to jump in, but he bounces back. Claire, so low, he's still trying to go for it. Spooks is recalling in the middle of the Baron pit. He's out. Oh, now Claire's the one that's being chased down by the Chiefs.
Yeah, you can see they're on the wrong side of the map. The Chiefs don't know where they want to go. Flash over the wall. Oh, goodness.
Someone turn on the Benny Hill theme because Raze has just flashed on top of Cupcake. We'll be able to get that kill. Where the hell is this bloody snake going? Ejim going to get the hook. Gives the double kill to Raze. And oh my goodness, Baron buff as well as 4 kills picked up by the Chiefs.
And you can just see Legacy are desperate. They had to stop that Baron. When it didn't go through, they had to get something in response. Unfortunately, they get neither. Now Ejim can look for a hook here, misses it, but with Baron buff up on this creep wave and still 2 members of Legacy dead, this might be the base broken fish.
And they march it towards the inhibitor turret. That's going to fall very easy. Legacy still without the mid laner, without their support, can't do much. Swiffer gets a stun onto Carbon as well. Inhibitor falls, and Legacy watch helplessly as they're... Oh, Carbon! Yeah, almost dies.
Nearly got outplayed. Luckily for him, he has some resistances. You can see the Chiefs now going back to base. Big waves top and bottom that need to be attended to, Fish. So bad side wave control right now for the Chiefs, but they'll be able to clean that up. And Legacy, unfortunately, are now 6,000 gold behind.
Not a good spot for Legacy to be in. But a massive redemption story for the Chiefs. You know?
This is huge for the Chiefs. A team that had been the only international representative for 3 years in Oceania. Knocked off their throne, split one. The league equalized fit. Everyone said everyone had caught up. It's like nothing ever happened. Oh, they get it with the Gragas cast. That's unfortunate. Nothing can go Legacy's way. Direwolves took it away from them.
Yeah.
Sin actually took it away from them if you want to get real technical.
Denied them Rift Rivals.
Denied them Rift Rivals. And the Chiefs had to go back to the drawing board. This is redemption for them. They're going to make the grand final, it looks like right now. And they're going to go up against their foes in the Direwolves.
And you look at their head-to-head. Both games they played against the Direwolves this split. It went to all 3 matches. Yes, the Chiefs did 4. But they know that the Direwolves aren't immortal. They can be taken down. In fact, in the final game of the season, it was up to the Chiefs to try and take first place even, straight into the grand final.
And the Direwolves know that this isn't a Chiefs lineup that they've played before. The Chiefs are playing much better in this Gauntlet run than they were playing during the regular season. 3-0ing Sin, looking to 3-0 Legacy. This is not easy feats. Legacy were undefeated until week 8 of the OPL. And the Chiefs are looking to close it out.
They're going to lock down the jungler. He takes a lot of damage. Carbon forced to charge away, but Swiffer says, good night, my friend. And the rest of the minions now crashing towards the Nexus. Could this be a repeat of Game 1? A sub-26-minute victory. Big Swift jumps in. The Armored Titan secures Swift for a kill. Lost is trying to defend. Ejim's forced to back out of this one. But the Chiefs, they can taste it, Spawn.
They certainly can. One Nexus turret falls. They're onto their second one, and the Chiefs are looking for the 3-0.
Big stun, Cupcake's gone. No longer a big tasty pastry. Meanwhile, Lost go toe-to-toe against Race. Race wins the fight next to the fountain. Tally wants to jump back in. Look at the perfect player. Somehow still alive. The Nexus is open. Carbon wants to stop this. He will not let Legacy down. He is trying his hardest, but Swiffer with the double. They pick up the ace, and Chiefs book their date against Direwolves next Saturday in the grand finals.
3-0. The Chiefs 3-0 all-time foe Legacy. They've got their eyes set on the Wolves. And 6 games fish. That's all it took the Chiefs. 0 losses this gauntlet run, and they are back in form.
I can't remember which member of the Chiefs tweeted out yesterday, Spawn, but after their 3-0 against Sin, they said, well done, boys. Great games. 6 more to go. And you know, Direwolves could have said, all right, sure, let's see how you do against Legacy first. But that is a statement.
Certainly is. Legacy are not a bad team. Legacy are a great team, Fish. But today, Chiefs were clicking on all cylinders.
Game 2 was the closest they got, Legacy. 55 minutes. So close.
But in saying that, Legacy, a team that this year said it was their rebuilding team. Acquisition by the Adelaide Crows. They brought in Lost, Cupcake, Claire. 3 players that had never played a full split of OPL. They were able to make the grand final split 1. This split, they finished 3rd. But for a rebuilding year, that's a bloody good year.
It certainly is for Legacy. For the Chiefs, their redemption story has started. They were the only representatives internationally for Oceania for so long. Direwolves took that away from them. Sin took it away from them. And they want redemption. They want to be the first team from Oceania to represent the region at Worlds. They've got a tough task ahead. They have to take down the Direwolves now.
Yeah, I mean, that leads to what is a great grand final. Direwolves wouldn't have had it any other way, I'm sure. If you want to be the first Oceanic team to go to Worlds, you want to go through the Chiefs. You want to prove that you're the best at this current stage. So, I mean, next Saturday, book the date. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Well, we have a couple of members of the Wolfpack on the desk. We're going to get their thoughts on the matter. Let's send it back to the analyst desk.
5 p.m. Saturday is when you guys are going to be facing off against the Chiefs after their 3-0 victory over Legacy today. So congratulations to the Chiefs. Commiserations to Legacy. An incredible year for them. But I want to get you guys quick thoughts on this series before we go to them for the interview. Sharp, overall, is this... I mean, you didn't expect a 3-0, did you?
I predicted a 3-1.
Yeah.
Close. But, you know, this is great. You know, the Chiefs seem like a worthy opponent for us. Like, had a very strong showing. I'm really excited for our games next Saturday. But, yeah, this game, not too surprising. I feel like Chiefs were just the stronger team overall, more well-rounded. Some great drives from Chiefs all throughout the set. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed from the Legacy lineup. I felt like this split, they were very strong. They had a very good showing. Rift Rivals, decent showing. They had a decent end up until they played Sin and AV. And then it felt like things just fell apart after they lost those series. And then they got placed second in the Gauntlet, and they just couldn't pick it up. And it just felt like this series they were flat on their feet, and they didn't have an answer because Swiffer was playing well.
Yeah.
Swiper was playing well. Raze, everyone was playing well.
was, yeah, with the
everyone.
hooks.
Yeah, the hooks were off. The ganks from Spooks on mid lane were off. Like, it didn't look like everyone on Chiefs were on their game, and Legacy, they didn't really have an answer for it.
All right, we'll come back and get some more in-depth thoughts from you guys after this interview. But currently, Fish is standing by with the eGym, so let's start to them for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Bryce Eugene support for the Chiefs, and that was an absolute cracker of a series. 3 games in a row, very decisive victories for the Chiefs. You played 3 different champions, and you look phenomenal, and your confidence must be through the roof right now.
Yeah, I mean, you say my confidence should be through the roof, but I got completely dumpstered by Sin yesterday, and that was only a day ago, but... I mean, yeah, I was pretty happy. As soon as they locked in Jana, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a Blitzcrank game, boys. Like, I don't know if you saw on the player cam. Like, I was so happy. And, yeah, playing, like, 3 different champions is a bit different from last Gauntlet where I played 5 Lulu games and just inted in all of them. So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, it seems like you're really enjoying the current meta at the moment. At the same time, you know, crucial victories for you guys. Last split, unfortunately, you finished 4th. Now you're making it all the way to the grand finals. Are you excited for this matchup against the Direwolves?
Yeah, definitely. I think Direwolves last split were... like by far a cut above the rest of the teams. They deserve to take out the grand finals like they did. But I think our form coming into the Gauntlet has been really good right now. We're showing that we 3-0'd Legacy, 3-0'd Sin. Mind you, like some of the games were a bit, how you going? But I feel like we're playing well, and I'm excited to play Direwolves.
Which is good to hear, because we heard from Coach Jish earlier on before one of your matches saying that, you know, you had a few mistakes made during that Sin game, you cleaned them up. Are you guys going to go back and study this match against Legacy, or is it just back to regular old business and trying to take us to Direwolves in the last match?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we did clean them up too well, because like game 2 was in the palm of our hand for so long, and we decided to give it to Legacy 6 times. So there was a lot of throws all over the place, but yeah, we'll definitely be looking, VOD reviewing these games versus Legacy, games versus Sin, and then looking to try hard for finals next week.
And that's good to hear. Congratulations on your win today. Best of luck against Direwolves. We're going to send it back to the desk for now.
Congratulations to Ejim there, saying, look, game 2 playing well, but then they tried to hand it to Legacy 6 times. So obviously, you've got the benefit of being able to watch 3 games as the coach of Direwolves now. Is there anything you've noticed watching, I guess, 6 games across the board from the Chiefs?
Yeah, well, obviously being able to watch those 6 games is extremely crucial. We'll get to see a lot about their draft, what they prioritize. Not so much how they play in game. I think I've had a pretty good understanding of how Chiefs play their macro game. But yeah, really advantageous for us to be able to see what they prioritize.
You're getting inside his mind already, I see.
Yeah, pretty much.
No comment. I'm saving it for next week, guys. Come on.
All right. Well, standing by right now with Fish is the jungler for Chiefs Spooks. So let's hear what he has to say.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Spooks Jungler for Chiefs Esports Club. You guys just picked up a fantastic 3-0 victory, but I really want to talk about game number 2. There was such a long pause in that match. You guys were sitting there really quiet for an extended amount of time. What was going through your head? What were you thinking about when you couldn't communicate with your team?
Yeah, look, honestly, like at that point in the game, I think I was having a rough game. And my heart was actually racing. Like I had a lot of adrenaline going and drank too much coffee, obviously. But like it was actually, for me, it was like a bit like quite good to just calm down a little bit. And my team kind of helped bring me down. So I was able to like focus for the rest of the game. But yeah, I was definitely struggling in game 2.
Well, you guys were able to bounce back really strong, not only in game 2, but game 3. You put on a clinic against Legacy very early on in the jungle. How did you feel about that performance?
Yeah, I've been working on my River Gragas in solo queue. So Sybil taught me the ways. You just rush the movies and you just sprint around everywhere. You don't take farm on jungle because you can't actually do anything with it. So you just get your team ahead, and that's the best way to do it.
Well, shout out to Sybil helping out the Chiefs with their jungling here today. Going up against the Direwolves next week. Are you confident going into that grand final match?
Yeah, look, I think we're as confident as we probably have been for a long time now. I think we're in with like a really good shot against Direwolves. We're not going to take them for granted. Direwolves have showed all year that they're definitely the most consistent, strong team. So, I'm looking forward to the match, but we're definitely in with a shot.
Yeah, really excited to watch that matchup next weekend. You guys had a great performance yesterday, 3-0 against Sin, 3-0 today. Congratulations on your wins. Best of luck next week. We're going to send it back to you guys to the desk.
Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Spooks. And I can't believe you didn't ask him, but Spooks was back on Rift Herald duty today, and he did an all right job.
Yeah, Ejim's off. Spooks is back. The Rift Herald and Spooks best friends now.
All right, Destiny, let's talk about this game then. Game 3 of the series. And in particular, what kind of stood out to you?
I think Swiffer. Swiffer seemed like he was just monstering it today. And it really showed in the mid lane. Like, the problem with Carbon engaging there is that he has no follow-up. None of the champions he has, besides Cassiopeia, can help him lock down Ejim. And then Ejim just turns it back, hooks the Cassiopeia. And now this is a bad fight. Just like we saw yesterday, big Swifts on this Knight, hits a huge ultimate, turns the fight. And then you can just see how comfortable Swiffer is on this Syndra. Look at this stun. He actually Qs through the wall and stuns through. That was a very cheeky interaction that I don't see many Syndras do, and that got them an extra kill. It was very well played by the Chiefs.
It's hard to even pinpoint an MVP. Honestly, I think across the board, every Chief member played outstandingly, and I feel like if you were to choose possibly Swiffer, I think Swiffer probably played insanely well over all 3 games.
Got a lot of first bloods, I believe.
Yeah, and I feel like he was the rock of this squad and really pulled through a great performance over these 3 games.
Meanwhile, there was a moment later on in the game, towards the end of that 3rd game, where it looked like Legacy were trying to make a play, but it just got a bit awkward, yeah?
Yeah, around this Baron, it ended up turning into a bit of a Baron Mexican standoff, but here, Chiefs from the Baron pit, rushing it down. They have a decent Baron team composition, but Legacy looked to collapse. Obviously, Gragas manages to get the smite. Now, Legacy, they feel a bit desperate at this point in time. They're a bit behind. They need to make a play to get into the game. Chiefs feel confident enough to stick around. Don't want to exit out the Baron pit and decide to take the fight. Here, Lost is trying to get as much damage down as possible, but is scared of the Blitz hooks. Manages to get deleted by Swiffer instantly, and here it's just all downhill from now. Claire struggles to kite out, and this was the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs, honestly. This is what just sealed the deal, and Razor whiffs the flash ultimate here, but it doesn't really matter. After this, they managed to push down mid and break open the mid inhibitor, so clean hooks all throughout the game from Ejim, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think Legacy should have just hit the go button and just jumped into the Baron pit and tried to steal it? Like, is that too courageous?
Or not getting that position in the first place?
Yeah. When Carbon died, it pretty much let Chiefs get Baron for free. So the hook from Ejim really did pay off. And just look at the damage. It just speaks wonders what we were saying before. Swiffer and Raids just... Look at the damage. That's just crazy.
Swiffer over doubling.
And I feel like Swiffer has had an up and down split. You know, he had that incredible play mid lane with Spooks that got them on the Penta. He's had some incredible moments, but also he's struggled against Claire, for example, previously, against Ryoma previously. But I feel like tonight, and especially yesterday, he's had a pretty good couple of days.
Yep, definitely agree. Solo killed Claire today. He pushed his lead, he got that first blood tower, moved it to the bot lane, flashed over the wall, killed Tally, and just pretty much eradicated the map. The Lucian fell behind, so Nargis eventually, even though he got level 1 cheesed, he was still in the game. I think Swips had a very good recovery, and yeah, just great team play today.
I would say like Swiffer, he's always been that rock. Yeah. You know, he's always so incredibly consistent. He's a veteran of the scene. Always managed to pull back victories, even when they're in a deficit. So really props to Swiffer, someone that we're going to definitely have to look out for coming next Saturday.
Absolutely, and also interesting about Swiffer that the TF ban we've seen in 4 games now in this Gauntlet, but then when it was left open, he didn't pick it. So people were trying to ban out these global comps that Swiffer was, the Chiefs were going for, but then it seemed like they weren't really drafting towards that. Look, I'm not going to ask you what you can do, but you got your work cut out for you next week, Sharp.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I feel like Swift is a type of guy that you can't really ban out. He can play anything. He can play any style. He can play assassins, mid mages, control mages. He can do anything.
Look, if there's someone that's going to play Twisted Fate, it's going to be Richard Fantic soon. So
maybe Jish should ban it.
Yeah,
that's what should happen.
You should be watching out for his TF. He's the OG.
Jish, if I don't see a first rotation TF ban, I'll be disappointed.
We're waiting.
Show the respect. All right, let's take a look at the Gauntlet, including the results from earlier this weekend. Sin on Friday night, we were able to beat AV 3-2. Then Chiefs 3-0'd Sin. Legacy fell tonight to Chiefs, and then Chiefs will go on to face Direwolves next Saturday, 5 p.m. right here at the OPL. I do want to spend a bit of time talking about Legacy because they have had a year which they said at the start was going to be a rebuilding year, but they've got a lot to be proud of. You've talked about Rift Rivals already. We've talked about their huge finish in the grand final last split. I mean, what moments stick out for you guys in terms of Legacy's play this year?
I think Lost.
Yeah.
I think he has always been the best player on Legacy this year. I felt like he was very consistent. He was always the hard carry, the person that they could rely on. Claire had an up and down 2 splits, I would say. He was very hyped when he first came back to the OPL, and he didn't live up to it, mainly because I think he was overhyped, and he was trying to reach expectations that he wasn't capable of. But I feel like today he had a very good Zed performance in Game 2.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I feel like next year is the year for them to show what they're capable of.
Yeah, I'm with Destiny on this one. I think Lost really was the superstar of their roster this year. Lost constantly having those, being able to carry them through those difficult games. Claire was a bit up and down. I feel like he had a bit of a rocky start, managed to even it out, stabilize throughout the split. But yeah, for me, Claire and Lost were definitely the 2 big key members for their roster.
Absolutely. Well, commiserations to Legacy. But Chiefs were able to 3-0 them today, meaning that they will face Direwolves in the grand final next week on Saturday. Now, before that, on Friday night, we've got a bit of a special treat for you OPL fans. Going to be doing an OPL show Friday night. It's going to be a bit of an award ceremony. We're going to hand out our, your MVP award, your most improved, a few other things. There's going to be some memes celebrating. Look, I'm doing some supercuts right now of Rift Herald plays. I'm going to show them. If you want someone to get roasted, let us know, because maybe we'll get Spawn to do an OPL roast as well for the Friday night. Your Friday night roast. Destiny, do you have any contenders of who it should be?
When you roasted us last time on the desk.
That was Schönfire smite for the red bar.
Schönfire smite for the red bar.
That's pretty good. All right, so do tweet at us, hashtag #IamOPL, and let us know what you want to see on that show. We're putting it together this week, but the grand final will be here Saturday, 5 p.m. It will be Direwolves, the first place team of the OPL, taking on Chiefs who finished third, but have now managed to climb that gauntlet and are finishing second after beating Legacy tonight. And look, I do this every week. Give us a preview of next week. What do you reckon? You guys going to 3-0 this? 3-2? 3-1? What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm not really going to say. I'm going to say that I'm not going into detail, but I think it would be quite one-sided in our favour. You know, although Chiefs are a worthy opponent, they've obviously veterans of the scene.
You've seen a lot of their play. You're going to go home.
Seen a lot of their play.
Crunch it through the Enigma machine.
Yeah. I'm going to drill into Jish's brain. But yeah, looking forward to it, honestly. They're a great opponent, so I think it'll be a great set regardless.
Destiny?
I think this will be the best of 5 series the Oceanic scene has ever seen.
Whoa.
I feel like it'll be the highest quality games we'll ever see. This is like I said in my interview for Week 9 game when we played against them. This is the old dogs in, old dogs out, new dogs in. This is it.
Get out, you old dogs.
This is the match that everyone wants. This is the match to see who truly is the best team in Oceania. Be there. Watch it.
Whoa.
Watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. 5 p.m. Saturday right here. Sorry, yes, and before that, Friday as well. Due to tuning in for the OPL show, I'd like to thank Sharp and Destiny for being here this evening. I'd like to thank Spawn and Fish. Sarianne was sick today, but she'll be back next week. So thanks from everyone here at Riot, and we'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Still alive, lost in trouble, grounded by the Miasma, will take Raze down with him, but what a beautiful team fight from the Chiefs. Now Raze is taking it up, Lost almost takes Raze with him, but a double kill picked up by the perfect player. Double kill for Raze, looking to pick up another one, that's the triple, and only Claire left alive. And what a statement game, they're going to take this one round just 24 minutes in. Double buff transfer to Swiffer, but Legacy are collapsing onto the stage. Double kill for Claire. Lost almost takes down Swiper. Raze will kill Carmen. Cupcake's the next one to fall, and the Chiefs find the team fight. And big silence comes out, as well as the Dark Binding from Egypt. The Chiefs are playing team fights to near perfection. The perfect player wants to kill everybody on the side of Legacy. Well, here comes the collapse. Zed's coming in. Redemption nice and early. Petrifying Gaze, as well as the exhaust. They shut him down. Dark Binding on the tree himself. Lost is being collapsed by this big void monster. And Carmen's the target of choice. He will get locked down. The Chiefs have done it. The Chiefs have to retreat. Everyone is so low. Swiffer's in trouble. He gets taken down. What a massive play from Tally. Throws out the ultimate. Locks down Lost. Carmen's dead. It's a pick-up going for Legacy. He just being jumped on by Claire, but gets knocked into Guardian Angel. And Cupcake's the last man standing. He will fall as well. They've done it. The Chiefs will march towards the base. The resilience from the Chiefs is, though, and they are now at match point. Damage hooks on. Claire gets silenced as well. Swiffer will turn his cleanse on and get away from the ultimate. Swipe it out. Big Nah on the wall. Gets a double kill instantly. Tally, though, popping off in the back lines. He has Barrett's low, but it will be secured by Spooks. Chiefs trying to turn around. Claire threatening to throw out the ultimate. Where did the Chiefs go? They're stuck. Egypt's going to run out. Trying to knock one up. Lost forced to flash away. But this team fight, Tally gets hooked. He'll get taken down low. They want Swiper to jump in, but he bounces back. Claire, so low, he's still trying to go for it. Spooks is recalling in the middle of the Baron pit. Egypt gonna get the hook, gives the double kill to Raze. And oh my goodness, Big Swift jumps in. The Armored Titan secures Swift for a kill. Lost is trying to defend. Egypt's forced to back out of this one, but the Chiefs, they can taste it, Spawn.
They certainly can. One Nexus turret falls, they're onto their second one, and the Chiefs are looking for the 3-0.
Big stun, Cupcake's gone, no longer a big tasty pastry. Meanwhile, Lost going toe-to-toe against Raze. Raze wins the fight next to the fountain. Tally wants to jump back in. Look at the perfect player, somehow still alive. The Nexus is open. Carbon wants to stop this. He will not let Legacy down. He is trying his hardest, but Swiffer with the double. They pick up the ace, and Chiefs book their date against Direwolves next Saturday in the Grand Finals.